Alright, I'm ready to do the next step, which is the wet sanding of this French polished surface. I have 20 sessions of French polish on here at the moment, and I've waited 3 days after the 20th session to let the finish harden up some more. And now it's time to do some wet sanding. I'm using an Artgum eraser because it has a nice firmness to it. And you wrap 3600 Micromesh around the block, and then that's what you use. And onto the surface of the Micromesh you put your lubricant, which in this case is mineral spirits and olive oil, half and half. And kind of shake it up to mix the oil into the mineral spirits. But the reason for this combination as a lubricant is that the mineral spirits serve as kind of a timer for you. It lets you know when to stop sanding. Because once the mineral spirits have evaporated from the pad as you're sanding, then you would only be gliding on with oil over the surface, and thus the sanding would not be as effective. And so it's a kind of a good timer to know when to apply more lubricant. Once you feel that you're just gliding on oil, that's the time to stop and put some more mineral spirits and olive oil on the pad. And so it makes things a bit more consistent in the sanding process. So I'm going to be starting that right now. So again, I'm going to kind of shake it up a little bit, remove the cap, and apply. I think I'm just going to kind of dip it like this. You don't need a lot. You just kind of spread it over the surface. Okay, and then you begin. So again, I'm going to use a paper towel to hold the guitar, and just very, very lightly go over the surface. This hard Artgum sanding block eraser is nice and flat, and allows me to really sand a nice smooth surface. When I get to curved surfaces, I will probably use a flexible block that I've been using for the dry sanding. You know, it's kind of like flip-flop foam rubber, which is softer and can conform to curves better. But I'm just sanding round circles, and you can kind of feel when all you're doing is gliding on oil, which I can feel it right now. And so that's a good place to stop sanding this section. Okay, then you wipe it off the paper towel, and you can kind of see that it's starting to smooth out the surface there. I don't know if you can see in the light. You kind of hate to dull this surface after you've built up this nice glossy shine, but the smoother you can get the surface for the last 3 coats, the better. And so once again, I will shake the bottle a little, just to make sure that mineral spirits and oil are mixed well together, and I'll just carefully put the oil onto the mineral spirits and oil onto the Micromesh, and I'll go to a new section. Very lightly. So make a nice flat surface. Just circular motions again. And you can hear when it's not really sanding anymore, because you won't hear the sanding sound. And it'll just be a smooth sound with no more abrasive kind of feeling or sound. And it's starting to get there right now. I don't know if you can hear it on the video, but right now it's just kind of gliding on oil once again. Okay, so then I wipe it off. I like to kind of shake it each time. I don't know if it's necessary to shake the bottle each time, but I just want to make sure that the oil and the mineral spirits are mixed nicely. Okay, and I'll move over to this section. A lot of this is just by feel. You can kind of feel when it's finished sanding all it can sand with this lubrication. You don't hear any sanding sounds anymore, and it just is gliding on the olive oil. See right there, I can feel that it's kind of shifted over to just gliding. And I can hear it. Again, the main purpose of this is just to knock off any high spots that there might be. Any tiny nibs or irregularities in the surface. I'm not pressing down. I'm just kind of letting the block and the micromesh sit on the surface. Okay, so that's the process. So I'm going to be going over the whole guitar and the neck, doing this. And you can't really tell that it's really dull, but it is just smoothing it out. Okay, catch you later. This may take a while because I'm going to take it nice and slow.